I'm well known on my YouTube channel for being a gamer and a complainer, but what you didn't know about me is that I've worked several skilled labor jobs down here in Southwest Florida. Southwest Florida is home to many northerner gentrifiers who are basically spending millions of dollars on homes that I wouldn't touch with 10 grand. These tourists have been jacking up the cost of living here for multiple decades, and I think it's time I tackle the issue head on. As someone who's personally worked in the trade business, I've noticed there are lots of procedures and steps that need to be taken in order for a home to be completed. Each of these large steps that need to be taken to complete a home in new construction are usually done by multiple different entities. The electricians, the plumbers, the HVAC guys, the cabinet guys, the drywall sheetrocking guys, the framers, the concrete guys. So working and collaborating with each and every single different one of these entities is part of the experience of working that skilled labor. You end up getting a lot more tea and drama from a ton of other companies, not even just like your own company. And quite frankly, I have to say, I'm unimpressed. I have shadowed at least 6 different people at an HVAC company, and not a single one of them did their job right until I met one individual who actually did their job right. Every single person that I've shadowed in the past had literally done most of their job okay, and then they cut corners a certain way, but they don't cut corners like so-and-so or John Doe. They don't cut corners like this. I cut corners like that. For a quick example, there is a community down in Inglewood, Florida called Coral Cay that I've worked on many of those houses down there with my partner at the time. They would do a smoke test where they would pump smoke into the AC system to see if it would leak smoke out of the AC duct. Now I would get maybe 0 to 2, so like kind of like 1 or 2 leaks every couple of houses. Nothing too crazy, nothing too serious. So they ended up taking 2 very experienced people and throwing them on one of our other jobs in the same neighborhood. They had over 16 leaks on their goddamn ductwork. Now, of course, at the time, the code was 2 forms of sealant. You don't just use sticky tape and then more sticky tape. You're supposed to use 2 different forms of sealant when you're doing these things, as per code at the time at least. It's probably still the same way. Sip screws, tape, mastic, all different forms of sealant. You have to use multiple forms of sealant on the duct. You can't just use one form of sealant. Now, guess who had to go and correct their mistake with their 16 leaks? Now, when I was working HVAC, my duct was just straight, strapped up perfectly. People have their duct like this, and it's kinked, and airflow is just completely blocked, and the test and balance is completely fucked up. I wouldn't touch one of these $1 million homes with 10 grand. I swear to God, I wouldn't spend that much money on anything. You don't know what's in your drywall. And it's kind of funny because these skilled labor people that go around, they say, you know what? If fast food workers, they want to get paid more, maybe they should learn to get my order right. Well, you don't know what the fuck is going on in the attic. I have seen some horrendous shit where we have jobs where there's no blueprint, or if the blueprint calls for me to put a 14-inch flex through a 10-inch hole. How the fuck? Where's the other 4 inches? We've seen jobs where people just squish stuff into it, and then instead of changing the blueprint or something, like they have these big can lights, these electricians have these big can lights, instead of getting some shorter lights to put up, they shove can lights into our duct. Like actually physically into the duct, and now there's something blocking airflow there because you shoved can lights into it. There is so much wrong with the trades in construction. It is a nightmare of an experience. I worked on multiple 6-story condos doing condo jobs, and there was a moment where we had an individual who found out that his best friend's son shot his best friend 14 times. So he found this out. He started fucking like panicking, because as you should, give a shit and have empathy about your fellow man. He's crying about his best friend who was murdered by his best friend's own son. And one of the electricians just pulls out his phone and goes, "Oh yeah, I found it. Right here. Yep. No, he's not in critical condition anymore. No, he died." And so the dude fucking panics, starts crying, gets in his truck, goes home, right? Just to try to deal with the real life situation he's in. And as soon as he went home, I'm surrounded by like 12 other people, and every single one of them goes, "Wow, what a pussy." I couldn't believe it. And this is my full experience. Every 10 seconds, it was something racist. It was something homophobic. I didn't get a break from it. It was nonstop. Like I'd be in a truck with a guy driving, you know, and dude would look over at me and be like, are you gay? He goes around and he's like, oh no, it's okay if you are, but you have to let me know if you're gonna be in a truck with me, because if you don't tell me, then you're a liar and I'm gonna be pissed off. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I have an abundance of I have a list, an actual 4-page letter of resignation for one of my previous jobs where it was nothing but just a full-blown nightmare. Like, none of the job that they actually do, I look at it right here in my own fucking apartment. My ceiling fan, if you look at your ceiling fan, that shit's not going to be centered on the room. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. There's nothing centered on the walls. They go, oh, you're supposed to be a certain amount of inches away from an attic access. So, like, that's about the biggest thing that they worry about is, oh, what about the soffit? You gotta be, what is it? Like a half inch above the framing for the exhaust fans. There's just all kinds of shit that people don't, I've literally seen jobs where people don't use panduits. Panduits are big zip ties that you're supposed to, you panduit down, then you tape it, and you squeegee it. They don't know how to fucking squeegee. So, myself, I've been reprimanded on those job sites for how long I've taken because I do my job correctly, which is something I personally complained about for an extended period of time, and I'm going to continue doing. The skilled labor in the trade job set, that entire community, all those communities of people, they don't generally do their job right. I'd say if you do, congratulations, I like you. There's an abundance of people who don't deliberately neglect so many problems. I have met maintenance men at my most recent job who they used to go around because old ladies would complain about a noise because their booster fan. There's a booster fan that helps push dryer lint from your dryer out of your apartment. They complain, ooh, there was this noise in my thing. They go up there and they just shut the booster fan off. The reason why you have a booster fan to push that dryer lint out, because if you don't push that dryer lint out, what happens is it's gonna build up, and that heat's gonna build up, and that dryer lint is gonna catch on fire, and it's gonna burn the place down. So I've literally reported to OSHA about them. I literally called OSHA about them and saying they literally have done this. I don't even know what apartments there are. There's a random. I have been told multiple times, and I've seen them do it, where there are multiple apartments where they just shut the booster fan off because it's just a nuisance to the elderly, which is an immaculate fucking fire hazard. I have no idea. Listen, guys, I am so sick and tired of the skilled labor this, the skilled labor that. It is the most asinine perspective. You're not better than anybody. So anyway, thank you for watching. Leave a like and the subscribe button. I will see you guys in the next one. Later. Complete.